Olive.
The start of this project was pretty much the same as any basic structure build. You start with a base and some frames, and then you assemble them later to create your building. Right here I'm laying out all of my assembled walls and my base, and then you'll see I'm just tilting them up and nailing them together, and then I'm going to add screws a little bit later. One thing you'll notice is that this frame is equal on all sides, and that is because I was planning on putting a gable style roof on this, but then I got an idea and I ended up changing it to a high side and a low side for a shed style roof, and you'll see why here in just a minute. Once I had my roof structure pretty much finished, I then started on a little drawer, and that was really the reason I decided to change the style of the roof. This drawer is just super basic construction, just some plywood with a cleat at the bottom that would eventually hold another piece of plywood to make the drawer body. Once the drawer was fit and finished, I then went on to covering the exterior of the doghouse, and I used just regular cedar fence boards to do this. One thing you'll notice, I don't have any weather underlayment or anything like this, and that is mostly because this doghouse will probably just be on our covered patio. But if you're in an area with a wet environment or snow or something like that, you probably ought to have some sort of underlayment underneath the boards to really weather seal it. And here I'm just cutting out a little section that will eventually fit underneath the vent that you see on that side of the doghouse. And for the drawer handle and mechanism, I'm just using a carriage bolt with a wrench looking thing, and then I epoxied it to a lever on the back to basically just act as a stop. And for the roofing, I just used an extra piece of the Ondura roofing that I used for the shipping container shop.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all finished now, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Now I'm going to grab the camera and give you kind of a little walk around, talk about some of the things I might not have covered during the build portion of the video. Starting with the galvanized trim that you see on all of the corners and edges of the doghouse. I installed that for a couple of different reasons. One, I thought it just looked nice and kind of dressed everything up. And two, I know puppies love to chew on corners and edges of things, and I was hoping that might dissuade Olive from eating the doghouse. But if it seems to be a hazard, like she might cut her mouth, then I guess I will just take it off. Moving on up to the roof, if you've seen me install this Ondura roofing before, you'll know that normally in these open areas underneath the corrugations, you're supposed to put little foam closure strips. In this case, I did not. You can see all the way through it. And that is just to allow for a little further ventilation from the doghouse in conjunction with that vent down there. Moving on over to the drawer, this was just a tool that I got from, I don't know, some assembly kit. I had it in my junk drawer and I thought it looked kind of cool. I just epoxied that to another piece of metal on the backside of the drawer to act as a catch. But I know Olive seems to be pretty smart right now, so I'm sure soon enough she's going to learn that if she can just, you know, kind of knock that down and kind of tug at it with her paws or her mouth, she'll eventually get it open. But that's just for, you know, maybe treats or leashes or dog toys.
Yeah, good girl.
Oh. Stay. Stay. Okay. Whoop. Sit. Good girl.